Good morning everyone and happy Tuesday of Children's Hospice Week. I hope you'll join me and Brenda today and we'll do some homemade musical instruments. Make sure you keep these musical instruments and take them along with you tomorrow for our bear hunt. Let's get started.
My name is Brenda and today we're going to make some sensory instruments that we can use for sensory stories and to make music. And I thought that what we might try to do is use some of the things that we have in the kitchen yourselves at home. I know that because we're all spending a lot of time at home, we mightn't always be able to get to the shops to buy materials, so we're going to first of all just look at things that we actually have in the house and we can use. And then some of you may have some art materials, and then you can be really creative and imaginative as well. So we'll just kind of try and do a little bit for everybody. First is quite important, is I'm going to make a funnel. And a funnel is this. And it's a very important little thing because it's how we get our materials into the bottle. Because if you just try and pour the bag in, we'll have mess everywhere. And the way we do this, it's easy. I hope most people will have maybe paper plates. Paper plates are really useful. But even if you don't, cardboard will actually do. But what you do is, the reason paper plate's handy is that I want to make a quarter. And because the plate is already rounded, it makes it easier. But you can, you can get a normal dinner plate and just draw around it in card. And then what we're going to do is we're going to wind it around like this, like making it look like a little cone of ice cream, like that. And we get a little bit of masking tape. And this is really useful because it's a bit of a nuisance if the things start falling down on the ground. So we just put it like that, and put masking tape down the side like this. And then if the hole at the bottom is a little bit narrow, so what you do is we'll just snip it there like that. So we've got our shape, like a cone of ice cream, if we don't want anything dripping through it, and it fits in. It's really good. So it'll fit into most container shapes. Now we're back, and what we're going to do at this time, just again, a little bit of fun, a bit of imagination. I'm just using some plastic plates that were parties or something, and what I've done, you can use anything you like. I've just put some pebbles in there because I want to make kind of a lot of noise. Now what I'm going to do is I'm putting them together, and this is if you had a glue gun, you could do it around very, very fast, but this way works just as well. I've just cut out some masking tape a little bit earlier, so I just want to seal it very quickly. So but first of all, just put two little bits together, make a start in it, and the same on the other side. This, so you're kind of lining them up like that. And you can use sellotape to sellotape, masking tape, and whatever. I'll do the same here at this corner. And gosh, you can hear the noise already. It's making this sound. And this is going to be quite a useful instrument because you'll be able to use it by itself and with some other things as well. So you have to use your imagination, see what you can do with it. So what you're trying to do is make sure that your stones, your pebbles, or whatever you're using won't come out. That's the whole idea. So we're just sealing it like this around the edges. Okay. Now, and you can make this into anything you like in terms of what you want to make it look like. I think I'm going to give it a funny face. And we'll have a bit of fun with it. But first of all, we have to see, does it work? That's very dramatic. Yeah, that's quite successful. Okay, now I'm putting a little bit in. Make sure that it's nicely sealed, that you've got enough masking tape all around so that none of your pebbles will come out. And you can even do it lengthways as well if you want to. Get it like this, and you just lay it around the two sides like this, and you just make sure it's sealed neatly. Okay. So now I think I'm going to make it. Let me make it a girl. Now you could draw some eyes, or if you had a nice magazine, you could cut out. Might be able to cut out some eyes and a nose, make a funny face. I think I'll start. I might put 2 eyes and put them up sort of towards the top like this. So I'm making kind of a little bit like that, and we might give some eyelashes like this, and lots of eyelashes. Okay, on this side, and maybe even an eyebrow, and put a little nose in the middle. Okay, like that, and then we might put in. We might give her a smiley mouth. Okay. Now, and if we want to, this is a little trick. If you want to, we could give her using a little bit of nail varnish. You can actually paint on the lips, just for a little bit of fun. But that's only if you want to. You could also make clowns, or you could make a fish too. So there she is. And I think we might decide to give her, shall we give her eyes too? Because when we make things with a shaker, when it shakes, it's a bit of fun, isn't it? Because the eyes then shake as well, so it's a bit of fun. So let's go for the big ones in this case. So we'll just put a bit of Prit in the middle, or your glue stick, or if you have the glue stick, it's fantastic. And all right, and what we'll do then is let's have real fun. And I found a little bit of a bit of a boa, and I'm sure dressing up boxes and things, people might have something, it doesn't matter. I just found this and I thought, wouldn't that make a really fun little bit of hair? So what I'm doing is I'm putting some of the Prit all around the top. Or you can use PVA or your glue stick, just make sure that you have enough in it. This, and that it measures nearly the size of herself. And the other thing that I had thought about doing too, but you could think about this yourselves if you wanted to. I'll put this on, let's see. Oh my goodness. All right. This. Okay. And there she is. Now, what do you think? So, to make it easier to use it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a wooden spoon, and I'm just going to put the wooden spoon at the back, and I'm going to get the masking tape. I'm going to put my masking tape across just to hold the wooden spoon, and we'll get the bits of it. You probably want the wooden spoon is quite heavy, so you probably want to put in a fair bit of it. But this will do for the time being. Because we're doing a lot of shaking, it might get a little bit looser. So we've started it anyway. So we have the idea. Okay. So there she is. So if you want to do your singing, she's all ready. Now, and it's quite easy. So what we needed was our 2 plastic plates, some pebbles, masking tape. I used the nail varnish to do the lips, and a Sharpie marker. And that's it.
Okay, now we're going to do a paper plate drum. So for this you need your paper plates, just your plain paper plates, and you're going to need 2, so 1 for each side of the drum. And I prepared this side with some fingerprints, so you can put your fingerprint paints on one side if you want, or your thumbprints, and then I'm just decorating this one with markers. So you can decorate them any way that you want. So I'll continue on with my rainbow. And it sounds very funny when you colour on the edge. So we keep colouring down our paper plate. Now that's that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 2 plates back to back. So they're like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a stapler. You can use masking tape if you want, but I'm just going to show you how to staple, and you might just need help. Some might help you do your stapling. So we'll just staple it all the way around in a big circle. Now, you can use your masking tape or sellotape. You can even glue it, but it'll take a while to dry. So I'm using some staplers. Now, what I want to do now is I want to get a piece of ribbon so I can put it around my neck. So I have some ribbon here, or you can use string. So I'm going to put the ribbon on, and I'm going to staple that in as well. 1. Oops. 2. Now I'll show you. I'm going to put this around my head, and then if you're standing up, you just we're going on a bear hunt. And that's your drum. Or you can use what I've done here is I have a tub that I decorated. I just put sellotape some cards on it, and I have a little holder here, and you can. The other ideas you might have, and if you have at home yogurt tubs, or yeah, you might have some sweet tubs at home. What else have I? Pringles, or maybe ice cream tubs. So anything that you feel. I even have a cardboard box here, a little coffee box. So these can all be decorated and made into drums. I'll show you how to make this rain stick. So what I have used for this is holder, kitchen roll holder, and I just stuck some masking tape on the end. I just find masking tape is easier. And you can glue or colour or anything on top of the masking tape as well. But you can use card or anything you want. But I just find the masking tape a little bit easier. And then what we're going to make is a sound filter, and I'm going to make these out of tin foil, and I'll just show you. The sound filter makes the rice go slowly down the tube. So I'm just going to show you now what I did. So I'm going to take my tin foil, and I'm going to take a little bit of tin foil out, tear that away. Sounds really fun too. And I'm going to start rolling up my tin foil like a snake. Just scrunch it up like a snake and then scrunch it together and maybe do a few twists. Now, and because the tin foil isn't quite long enough, I'm going to use 2 or 3 of the snakes. So then what we have to do is attach this one to this. So I'm just going to twist it around like so. So we have a big long snake now. And then we're going to make something like a spring. So what you need to do is you need to twist the top end in and keep twisting it around in a circle. And keep going around and around and around. And you have something like a spring. So I think I'll have to add one more bit to it. So we have another little bit I left out. So I'm just going to twist this in again. And then we'll continue with our spring. You get the hang of it after a little while. No, that's perfect. I'm going to put, oops, a daisy. That might happen. Just stick it back. Or if you prefer, you can use masking tape to stick it. So I might use masking tape to stick it. That's perfect. Okay. Now what we want to do is we'll try it in our roll. So we'll just pop it in here. Let's see how it goes. That is perfect. It doesn't have to be exactly the whole length, but once it's kind of, it just kind of goes in and there's not much gap in the roll. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour in some of my rice. There's different types of things I can use to make sound, but for the rainmaker, it sounds really good when you use some rice. So I'm going to just pour some rice into the top of my, sounds really good already. I've put a good bit of rice in there. Perfect. And if you want to add a little bit more sound, you can add in a few popcorn kernels. So I might throw a little bit in there, see what it does. Whoops. I didn't use Brenda's funnel this time. I will have to do the next time. So that's it. We have our rice and our kernels in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close off the top, and again I'm going to use some masking tape. I just find the masking tape a lot easier. So we'll put one strip along the top that way. And another strip along the top this way. Now I will test out our rainmaker. Yeah, that sounds good. The sound of rain. You can add more rice in there if you feel you need to. That's the other good thing about masking tape. You can just take it off and add more things if you need. So to decorate this then, what I did with this one was I just put loads of different coloured tissue paper on top, and I used some glue. You can use Pritt Stick, or I'm using some Art PVA glue. And I have my coloured papers out here. Whoops. So I'll just start gluing on. start it and show you. Just slap on the glue and then we'll just start sticking on our different coloured tissue paper. Just stick it on, and if you want your sister or brother to help you, you can put your glue on, and then you can get them to help by sticking on your different pieces of paper. You can either do anything you want. You can use markers, paint, anything you want. Just make it colourful and bright, and then you continue on down. And then what I did with this one is I added a little feather on the top, and then you have your rainmaker. So that will might sound like you're swishing through the grass. Now what we're going to do is a toilet roll shaker. So it's just a toilet roll holder, but it's a shaker. So for this you need your toilet roll holder. Very simple. Again, I'm going to use my stapler, but you can use tape with this one, or glue if you want. I just find staplers are a little bit easier. So you get your toilet roll holder, and then you pinch one end so that it closes. So you just need to pinch the top end so that one of the opening closes. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my stapler. Now mind your fingers with this one again. You'll need an older person or adult to help you. And we'll go along, and we have our stapler. Now, to make it even safer then, so no one catches their fingers, I'll use some masking tape on top. Just to cover the staples. And as I said earlier, masking tape is great because you can actually go over it with markers, paint, or whatever you want. So I have the staples covered now. It's actually a lot safer. Then what we need is something to fill it. So let's listen. So in this one I have rice. But if you want to make a different sound, we might use either popcorn kernels or dried beans. You even have some raisins here. So for this one I might use let's use some dried beans and see what the difference is. So you won't need too many of them because you want the beans to move around freely when you shake, so you don't want to fill it up or overfill it. So once you have your beans or your rice or whatever you want inside, you want to close this one. So what you need to do is turn the toilet roll holder towards you so that the pointy end is coming towards you and facing out. And then you do the same again. So you pinch the hole at the top, closed, and then I'm going to use my stapler again. So we'll staple along the top, and then again I'll get my masking tape just to cover the staples. This is also so I can decorate on top. So we'll just bring the masking tape over. Now, and then we have our toilet roll shaker. And you can hear the difference in sound. So to decorate this then, like this one, I just cut strips of coloured card. You can use any kind of decoration you want. You can even paint it or use markers, whatever you fancy. I just thought this was cool, so I have my strips of card. So I'm going to bring the strip around the top and I bring it around again, and then just sellotape You can use glue, but I just find with sellotape it's easier and quicker, and then you can make it shiny all the way around. You can put sellotape. Just put another one of these strips across. Bring it around. There's loads of different things you can do, and if you want, if you find it easier, before you even pinch it and put your stuff in, decorate it while it's like that. Might be a little bit easier, especially if you're painting it. So I'm going to continue on, and I'll show you what it looks like at the end.
This is just a very, very quick idea that I came up with, and I thought that might be useful. I've just used a key ring without the keys. And then what I did was, this is the key ring, and then what I did was I love these soft pipe cleaners, the furry ones, and you can get them in, I think, Mr. Price or a lot of the art shops, but you can also use wool, or you could use string. But what I did was I had an old necklace, and it was just full of sort of beads. So what I've done is I've just taken some of the beads, and what I did, I put it in like this, through that, and then I just bend it around just a little loop so it doesn't fall out the hole. Okay, and then basically what I did was I took it, put it through the keyring like this, and then I bent it slightly in half, and then I went around again to kind of make a little knot in it. Just looped it around again like this, and try and have, roughly speaking, the same length. And I took another, can you all see? And I took another bead and just threaded. The part that's great about these is that it looks furry, but the wire is very thin, so the wire slips through the bead, so that's brilliant. And then loop it around again. Just go around in a little coil and bend it so it just stops the bead coming through the hole like this. So, and it's quite nice because when you castanets, you get a nice sound. And I also did it, I thought that, you know, that another idea would be, just used, you know, these kitchen utensils that we have, and the same idea. I just threaded the beads and some of the, it's like one pipe cleaner, bent in half, and a bead on either end. And it just makes a noise. But what you can do is, if you're trying to make a drum, they're quite good, just even as an example with this, isn't it? So you get a different sound, or the clacking sound. And the more you put on, the more noise you'll have. So, and it's really, if you have a sort of an old necklace or something that you, with the beads, or if they're chunky, it's quite good. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a shaker, but we're going to make it out of a plate, paper plate, but we're going to make it into something like a creature, not just like a bottle. So we're going to do something a little bit different, and it's going to be a bit of a surprise, so you have to watch carefully. So the first thing I'm going to do is I think I'll use some of the couscous, and I'm going to pour some into this. Yeah, I'm spilling a bit in it because I didn't use this one. And what we'll do then is, now, I'm going to put it into a sandwich bag like this, and explain why. You'll understand in a minute. In fact, we might just give it a little bit more. Because sometimes when we look in our presses, we find that actually we have a lot of things that are maybe a little bit old and they're just perfect for art. So when I have that done, I'm just going to put a knot in it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our paper plate, and we're going to bend the plate in half like this. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to be putting couscous in here. I'm going to see if I can make some sounds. Yeah. Now, we've got our shape. It looks a little bit like a half a sun. And before I glue it, I'm going to have a think about what I'd like to make. And I was thinking earlier I was doing a little bit of preparatory work, and I thought one of the things I did was I said I tried a snail. Can you hear? So I thought I might show you how to do a snail, but of course you could do lots of other things and just add a little bit of card. So what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to leave it, I'm not going to tape it yet, I'm going to leave it there to one side. And what I do is I've taken any colour, or you can get, you can use anything you like. I mean, magazines or anything that has colour in it. Now, I just want to make sure that the snail's body is going to come out the side of this, and his tail is going to come here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and draw a very simple shape. So we'll just go with a body and coming up. So we've got where he's going to be, and then we're going to just get tail, so I'm going to like this at the back. And what we do now is we just cut. Something like that. We'll just see how our plate is going. Yeah, I think our plate will work with it. So what we're going to do is, as I'm showing you, the idea would be that you would bend it in half and you put your tail in and your head, and then you can either using a stapler or using masking tape just to hold it. And of course, before you do that, it's very important you have to put in your little bag. And the reason I keep the couscous in the bag is so that little bits, if you do staple it, little bits aren't going to slip out the sides and you'll be leaving literally a trail behind you. So you just pop that in there like that. And what we do is put our finger over, have a look and see, yeah. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our snail's head and we put it here. And I'm going to get a little bit of masking tape. And I'm going to put masking tape down and get more a little bit. Like this. And I'm going to do the same with the tail. On the other side, I'm bending it over so the tail is going to come up here. And now, just check with your tail that it's easier. Once you do it halfway, you're right, otherwise you'll have a little bit of a problem. So, like that, and I'm going to be fast now, and I'm going to just staple it, but you can use your masking tape if you prefer, but the staples work pretty good. So I start in the middle, it's easier. Now if you want to, you can also, it's up to yourself at this stage, but if you wanted to, you could put like a ribbon through it so that you can hang it. So I might do that just for the sake of making it a little bit more interesting. And he's a kind of a moving snail. So we do this while we'll just put it through. We haven't stapled it completely yet. And that's it. And then we'll continue with the staples. And you definitely want a mummy or daddy, unless you're a big artist. So we don't have anybody getting stapling their fingers. But this is very quick and it's good fun. We do it. Now. Okay, and then we can tie a little knot here on the top, like that, and you can add your, and we might get our Sharpie and we just put in a little smile on his face, like this. And if you have, everybody loves these little eyes, and again, if there's nobody small eating it or would eat it or something like that, maybe you could include it and just make it a little more interesting. So you just get perhaps we'll go for, maybe go for 2 biggish eyes, just give them a bit of personality. Okay. Now, we'll just get some of our Pritt stick. And Pritt stick is great. I use PVA and Pritt stick. And there we have our snail. And he's shaking. I think if you close your eyes, listen, maybe going through the grass, and you can hear sort of little noises. So you can also decorate that afterwards if you wanted to. You could use fingerprint and just do finger painting. You could also get some wool and you could do some spirals on it. And so lots and lots of possibilities, but that's very simple. And I have a little fish the same. And it's interesting now, can you hear the difference? This is the couscous. Can you guess what that is? That's some wooden beads I found. But if you have little pebbles as well, it's not too heavy. So
now we're going to do a water sensory bottle. Now you can just use water and glitter, but because I want the glitter to be a little bit slow in the water bottle, I'm going to use some clear hand soap. Cheap clear hand soap. But you definitely don't have to use this, but I'm just going to show you the effect it has. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put in some lukewarm water. Just very lukewarm. Put this in here. You can use any size bottle as well. So I'll just put some water in. Fill it up a good bit. Now, okay, and I'm going to take the lid off so I'll go in quicker. I'm going to use some cheap clear hand soap. Bit drippy going in. Put as much as you want in. I'm just going to put a good bit in to show you the effect. Might as well put the rest in. Okay. Then I'm going to put in a little bit of food colouring. I'm going to put in blue for this one, because I want it to look like a snowy snowstorm. Now a tiny drop of that goes a long way. We can add more if we need to. And then I'm going to add some glitter. So I'm going to put some white glitter in here. We'll go glitter. And then I'm going to put some dark blue glitter. I'm going to use the rest of this one. And we put some, did I put silver? No, we put some silver in here. Actually I have this one. It's easier to open. And it doesn't matter if it's fine glitter or bigger glitter, doesn't matter. And then what will I do? I'll put in some light blue as well. And then we'll see. Now, then I'm going to top up my water. Let's hope this works. Okay, I have my water top. You can kind of see the effect already. So, now the only thing to do is put your lid back on and give a little shake. Turn it upside down and all around. Shake it a little bit. Some of the glitter might have clumped, but that'll settle. Anyway, it looks more like a snowstorm. You can add other little bits in there if you want, like stars or beads or sequins if you have at home. I'm just going to keep it simple. Now, I know there's a few big clumps in there, but that'll all start settling down. And now what I'm going to do is, if your parents have a glue gun, they could glue gun the lid on. But I'm just going to use some sellotape. Just for safety, you need to, especially if there's any small people using it, we'll just sellotape the lid on. Now, there you go, and we'll give it a little swirl. Now, I didn't put too much food colouring in there. You can make it darker if you want. But you can just see that the glitter is really slowing down, and it's like a snowstorm. So when we go on our bear hunt, you'll see the reason why we need this. So let's just see what we made today. So we made our paper plate drum that you put around your head, so it's a lot easier. I had this drum as well that I made from a tub. We had our rainmaker from the kitchen roll holder. We had our snowstorm in a bottle. And we had our toilet roll holder shaker. So I'm just going to show you other things that you can use for shakers. So I have this little yogurt pot and I put some rice in it. You can use that as a shaker. I have a bottle here that I just put ribbon on the top and beads. I put my popcorn kernels and a little bit of glitter, and it just makes a good shaker. And I taped the lid on, and then I have this bottle here. So this I'm going to use in our story, and it's like the slush. It's a slush sound. What else? You can make, I have some rice in just a little plastic container. So you can make instruments out of anything you have at home.
And then we have our pebble girl. With her and her eyes. And our keyring. I hope you enjoy making some things, and the important part is use your own imagination, because you'll come up with your own ideas, and hopefully there's lots of things in your cupboards that will make very interesting instruments. Okay. Lovely to be working with all of you. Goodbye.
I enjoyed making your musical instruments with myself and Brenda today, and I look forward to doing the rest of the week with you with Children's Hospice Week. So make sure you come in at 2 p.m. where we have our LauraLynn volunteers crew doing some music and songs. And then you have kids classics from 2 to 4 if you've pre-booked them. They're really amazing, so try and get a booking in with them. And then later on in the evening we have some music as well. So I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, where we'll bring our musical instruments with us and we'll go on a bear hunt. Thanks for watching. Bye!